What's good? Hi YouTube, this is Crazy Samurai, everyone here bringing another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on the Powerpuff Girls episode 25. This episode is called Fashion Forward. It's an episode that features two characters that I mentioned that were going to be showing up, that were returning in the senses that they're recent characters, but they are making their second appearance now. That is the Fashionistas, Bianca and Barbaros. The big gorilla and the girl who basically I'm assuming is meant to be the replacement for Sedusa, since most likely we probably won't get her, although who knows, maybe we might get really lucky and somehow they'll find a way around it. But I'm leaning towards them not putting in Sedusa just because of what she implies and all that, and because of the censorship stuff that goes on nowadays that prevents a lot of humor that a lot of fans grew up with from being able to enjoy a lot of shows that are current on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney. Anyway, I wanted to discuss this episode. This episode is called Fashion Forward. Interesting episode. What ends up happening is that the girls are watching a fashion show where they're trying to sell a product related to fashion. The product is called a smoji, which is obviously a play off of emoji, and in this case scarf, apparently, because it's supposed to be a scarf emoji, so smoji, and it's supposed to be modern stuff. The idea is that you're able to wear it in all sorts of crazy ways, like a ninja mask, or wear it as like a belt thing, or some other types of uses for it, and everyone goes nuts over it. So the thing is, the girls are even interested in it, and the one thing that makes Bubbles especially interested is because it's like, oh, at each one that you buy, one will be bought for animals on Animal Island, which is some made-up island, but that they're creating for the show. Sure. Anyway, Bubbles, he's like, oh my god, we have to support it. We have to do this. This is financially good. Like, it's crazy. And so the thing is that they all want to do it. The professor's like, no, you don't do this. This is not where we're going to spend our money. This is not worth it. The girls don't want that. The thing is, they go to school the next day and everyone has smojis, and they're looked at as the oddballs there, and they're like, oh, you're just like, are you just allergic to cool? Like, they just say that. It's just like, Blossom, we're not gonna let you be in like the student council anymore, so like, sorry. And she's all upset, and the others are all upset because they're like being treated terribly because they don't have smojis. And the thing is that it's all this feeling, and then like Blossom even daydreams of like having a smoji and then being put into like presidency and super presidency for like working with NASA and gaining multiple Nobel Peace Prizes and all sorts of crazy stuff just to make it sound even more absurd, and making it out like the smoji is the greatest thing ever. And eventually she ends up somehow getting one, and they even have a scene with Bianca and Barbaros talking, and like encouraging them to get the smojis, and eventually Blossom does. Now the thing is that it seems pretty harmless, seems like nothing's going on. In fact, eventually they do choose to support them by like posting on social media them supporting smojis, wearing them, doing all sorts of stuff with them. Thing is that eventually the professor finds out about it, not very happy about it, takes them away. Somehow Blossom still ends up holding on to one, and that's the one that she ends up having. Thing is that eventually this pretty harmless plan that seems to be happening turns into something a little bit more intense, as eventually they end up activating a mind control device using a TV to project their presence online, basically telling all the people that wore smojis that now they're controlled and to do their bidding. So they become an army of slaves that will listen to whatever Bianca and Barbaros tell them to do. So that ends up happening. Eventually the professor hears about this, and he goes out to deal with Bianca, and eventually what ends up happening is that he ends up stopping them, and he has to deal with his daughter who fights back for Bianca and Barbaros, the Fashionistas. So that ends up happening after a while, and then eventually the professor ends up destroying the TV, which ends up stopping all them from fighting and doing the bidding of the Fashionistas. And the thing is that it's obviously learning that like material possessions are not important, and just being yourself is more important. Obviously, I'm guessing you could go with is the general message, don't buy things if they look good just because they're popular. It's like, be yourself, be who you want to be. Don't look at it as necessary. Like, don't look at trends as everything. It's interesting. then eventually, you know, they get put in jail by the fashion police because, you know, this episode is all about fashion. Overall, interesting episode. This one is one that I definitely watched a little faster, but I definitely enjoyed it. I think that it was a good episode, and I was happy to see returning villains again. Even if they're returning from this season, I'm still happy because I just like to see characters return. It's kind of boring having a character only show up once, especially when they're not that exciting. And, like, you know, the last episode was very much so filler. I mean, they're all filler in some way, but, like, you know, there are limits, and, like, this one... But, like, this one's good because, you know, it keeps up with characters that have shown up before, and it's nice to see that them show up. I'm hoping in the near future for them to show up more older characters, not just Princess Morbucks, because we've seen her a million times, not just Mojo Jojo, although I wouldn't mind him again because we haven't seen him in a while, but, like, Green Gang, Fuzzy Lumpkin, him. I mean, seriously, where are they? The Amoeba Boys showed up, like, semi-recently, and, like, we've only seen them once in the show. I mean, each one of these characters could show up again. I mean, seriously. I mean, and, like, if Sedusa is even possible, why not put her in? I'm just saying. I think a lot of people would really like to see some old characters show up, and I don't mind the new ones. I think a lot of new characters, especially ones that are going to be reoccurring characters, as long as they're done well, which the Fashionistas are fine. I actually find them interesting. As long as they're done well, I don't mind. And more interesting characters, the better. That's really what it is. Make them interesting, make them worthwhile, make them characters that we want to see again and again. Because if not, I understand why people dislike certain aspects of this. And I'm not saying I don't already, but I think that that's one area where I think it falls short in, is that a lot of people are hoping for those older characters a lot more and, you know, focusing on that. I understand that they want to be original, they want to be new, but it's like, do both. Make that connection, and, you know, I can't stress that enough, because I like what they're doing, but I want to see more variety. I want to see more changes in story. I want to see more character plots. I want to see, you know, more stuff going on, because it's good. We haven't even seen the Rowdy Rough Boys. Where are they? Everyone wants them. We haven't seen them. The moment that episode comes out, everyone's gonna go nuts, because everyone wants the Rowdy Rough Boys. You know, those characters are so key. All those characters would be so exciting to just see. So I'm personally hoping that we get information about them. I'm hoping we get to see episodes with all these characters again sometime soon, because it's been a while since we've seen some returning characters other than Princess Morbucks. I'm sorry to say that. She has had plenty of episodes. She's probably had the most episodes as far as a returning character goes than Mojo. Not a problem. Just make it good. Keep it up. Do well. I understand people that dislike it, but at the same time, I think that even with the dislike, there is some enjoyment in this show, and even if it only lasts one season, I will still respect that one season and say, this was not bad. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think that this show has done a lot of good things, and if it continues to do well, be my guest, make more episodes, do a second season, do a third if it really does well. I don't know. You know, they have to find something that can bring the interest back up, because clearly people are losing interest, but at the same time, there are people that are definitely looking at this show and enjoying it. So please leave your comments below. Tell me what you guys think. I personally am having mixed opinions in both ways, but I do enjoy it. I do. I think a lot of it is good. Do I think it's as good as the original? No, but I think it's good. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the original. I think it's better than Z, but but you know, Z is Z. let's not go there with Powerpuff Girls Z. That was kind of its own thing, and it's not the best. It's very different. I mean, look, I've watched the whole thing of that. It's okay, but for those that have watched it, let's just say, yeah, it's not bad, just not the same. Very different. Like, I'd rather not go into a whole conversation. Anyway, please leave your comments below. Check my Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter page. And subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.